due to the F1 factory shutdown, there is no presenter for this week's Race Room. Only joking, we've got Pamela Anderson, we've got me falling asleep, and we've got Dave Spanner coming up on this week's Race Room. Welcome along, we start with the news. And first of all, the name Jensen has gone up 210 places in the most popular names list in the UK for babies. We reckon it's got something to do with this man, Jensen Button. Interestingly, the name Ivy has gone up from 911th to 88th in the best list. Might be something to do with Jay-Z and Beyonce. In other motorsport celebrity news, Pamela Anderson is featuring quite heavily because she decided to launch her own FIA GT team with Marcus Fux. They'll be driving a 458 Ferrari, no, not Pamela Anderson or Marcus Fux, instead Tonio Liuzzi and Matthias Lauda. They are probably the biggest playboys in the paddock. I wonder why they've joined the series. Let's get a bit more serious now with some WRC news. And the Citroen team have announced that Danny Sordo will be replaced for the upcoming WRC Australia. Now, Sordo has only 1 point ahead of Sebastian Loeb in the championship, and Loeb's only done 3 races, so potentially underperforming. They've given the opportunity to Chris Meek. He raced in Finland just a couple of weeks ago and was lying in 5th position before a roll. He was also held up by another team, so an interesting choice, and Chris certainly deserves a good chance. In other Citroen-related news, the World Touring Car team have released some more images of their new racer now on track, and also, more importantly, who will be Sebastian Loeb's teammate for 2014. And they've chosen another grumpy Frenchman, Yvan Muller, the 3-time World Touring Car champion, no doubt one of the best World Touring Car drivers ever, but really a grumpy Frenchman and a grumpy Frenchman in the same team. There was actually some racing last weekend over in America in the American Le Mans Series at Road America, and remember that car from Le Mans? It now looks a bit like that and starred in the race. The first half of the race was drying and it led its very first laps. Sadly though, it eventually finished 5th, and it was that car, the muscle milk machine, that eventually took the victory. And finally, some news from closer to home. Pole Position have their very first trophy. Oh yes, best newcomer at the 12-hour lawnmower race. My knees are bruised, my back is incredibly sore, and look at that for a hand. It was great fun, and the videos are coming out in the next couple of weeks. Well, as you well know, the F1 factories have shut down for 2 weeks, and in fact, there was really no racing going on last weekend whatsoever. So, what do we get up to when there's nothing to do? So the right raindrop is really slowing down now, but as they head towards the finishing line, it seems like the left raindrop is really catching him. McQueen's on the inside. Francesco's trying to go around the outside. Yeah, I'm working really hard, you know. I think Sterling would really love the P1 rig. I think that's really important to try and get Sterling and... Hello? He's really gaining on him. He must have got a great slipstream out of the last corner that doesn't seem to exist. McQueen comes back at him. Oh, big crash. Oh, no. And now it's Tweets of the Week, and plenty of those coming from drivers on holiday. At Real Timo Glock. A funny day at the lake yesterday. Now I chose this one because I thought that is an absolutely epic photo from Timo Glock. Of course, used to be a Formula 1 driver, now enjoying himself in DTM, and in fact they're racing next weekend, so a short holiday for Timo, but well done that man for an epic photo. Next tweet. At Colin Furs. I'm a shadow of myself. Just done a 12-hour lawnmower race, get home and next door is mowing their lawn. Ooh, the sound, haha. Oh, that must be absolutely painful. I had generators and lawnmowers in my ears for about 2 days, so going home for a rest and sleeping and trying to sleep and there's a lawnmower outside must absolutely kill you, Colin. But thank you very much for all your efforts at the lawnmower race. He was an absolute star, and make sure if you're a fan of Colin Furze, you watch those lawnmower racing programmes coming up here on Pole Position. Next tweet, at Grand Prix Diary. Valencia doesn't want its Grand Prix anymore. Hold it in Gibraltar instead. They are already used to Silverstone-type traffic queues. Now, I like this idea from Grand Prix Diary. Racing around the streets of Gibraltar, it would be a very hilly affair. It's very small. I can get the joke they're talking about the traffic queues because the Spanish have effectively shut the border between Gibraltar and Spain. But yeah, it'd be hard to watch the race, but it'd be an interesting Grand Prix around the streets of Gibraltar. At Aussie Grit. Now, this little girl took some taming. I was a little bit worried when I read that tweet of Mark until I saw the photo that he posted. That is absolutely epic. That's a go-kart, effectively, with some huge motorbike engine on the side of it. And he said it does 180 miles an hour. That takes some serious balls, Mr. Webber. At Ginetta Cars. Onboard video, Ginetta G55 versus Flying Door. Now this one takes some explaining because Ginetta have been promoting a video on YouTube of their car being hit by a door and showing how strong the Ginetta G55 GT3 car is, except the door, if you look really closely, comes from a Ginetta G50. So not that strong if one of them's falling apart and hitting another one. No, Ginetta, bad times.
That's me. Spanner by name, Spanner by nature. I used to think it was like the Hulk, you know, Bruce Banner, but it's Bruce Banner. Hang on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, it's got 4 wheels. What's that? So you want me to talk to you or to... I tell you what else, right? I'm not being funny, but Sebastian Ogier, right, just won Rally Finland. Very good French bloke. His co-driver broke his collarbone 5 weeks ago, and he only got clearance to do rally Saturday before rally. Now, 5 weeks. MotoGP rider, right, your Jorge Lorenzo, he has a crash, smashes his collarbone, gets surgery, gets a plate put in there, not like a wedge would, you know, metal, gets a plate put in there, he's racing 2 days later, then he has a crash, breaks that plate, has more surgery to get that plate mended and the bones mended and another plate put in, and then he races again. This is like bloody Wolverine. You got an ant's nest in here. Do you want that fixed later? Okay, no problem.
Absolutely.
Good. You don't have to sit there and read in a car with a roll cage. I don't know, I could do that. I can't read, but I could do that for him. That Ogier, right, he will still win the title if he stuck a Kindle in front of him and he drove with pace notes on that. I don't know. What's this bit? If you see my mum, tell her she needs to park it a bit better. What she's doing, joyriding in the middle of the night in a Subaru Impreza, I have no idea.
Well, clearly Moaning Martha's feeling a little bit better if she's joyriding in a Subaru Impreza, so maybe we'll see her soon. Hallelujah and celebrations. We have racing once again, starting with MotoGP. They've got 3 races on the bounce, and they're beginning their adventures over in Indianapolis, which is somewhere over here. Can Marc Marquez continue his winning streak? We also have DTM and European Formula 3. They're racing at the Nürburgring. And Mike Rockenfeller doing a great job over there. There we go, up there in Germany, struggling for a moment. And Pamela Anderson makes her debut in World GT in the Slovakia ring. I love that place to go racing. You can get steak and chips for about £3 out in Slovakia. So there you go, there is your motorsport fix for the weekend. Enjoy and make sure you join us back here in the race room when Rosanna is back as well. So much to look forward to. Until then, subscribe for free. See you next week.
First time we actually came, our son was conceived.